Meg the Stallion has ended her relationship with Klay Thompson, which absolutely swept the internet. She accused him of cheating on her stories. So they started dating in July of 2025, at least according to their hard launch. Probably started a little bit before that. But anyway, they hard launched in 2025, and she posted on her stories that he was not faithful. She eventually gave a formal statement as well. She accused him of cheating, saying that she was questioning if he could be monogamous after they were playing house with his family, that she stood by him and supported him through his horrible mood swings and poor treatment during the NBA season, only to be met with betrayal. And she said that trust, fidelity, and respect are non-negotiable for me. When those values are compromised, there's no real path forward. She's taking a real break to focus on herself and her upcoming projects. And Klay has been pretty silent on everything. There's some other drama swirling around it, but obviously cheating is the big conversation around the weekend and around these two and her accusations towards his infidelity. So let's talk about it. Not about them, about cheating. So there's two things that I want to get into on today's rants. Cheating is one, and romanticizing other people's relationships is two. So here is my overall philosophy, learned life motto, and standpoint on cheating. Don't. Here's my overall philosophy, learned life motto, and standard of practice on other people's relationships and romanticizing it. Don't. Okay, so now I'll elaborate on the first. Cheating is obviously a conversation that I think absolutely consumes the internet whenever it comes up. And for good reason. Cheating is attached to a lot of really terrible experiences for people. It can be deadly. It can be dangerous for your health. It obviously breaks a deep level of trust and comfort and shatters realities for people. It breaks up families. It changes the course of people's lives in that they can be completely and utterly unaware of what their partner is doing, and it rips them apart. It puts families against each other, breaks up friendships. It's really something that, when you get down to it, is a betrayal that can create just a ripple of consequences that you could maybe never have even anticipated. I mean, when we think of some of the biggest cheating scandals, they change the course of history. When you talk about on the political level, when you talk about on the level of countries and wars, there's really endless stories and endless consequences to what can happen when infidelity is introduced to a situation. Now, I've been cheated on in a variety of very creative ways. I'm almost so healed from it now that I can't even take it seriously. I think I told this story once, but I had an ex-boyfriend who I was financially supporting, and I gave him money to go out and clear his mind and have a good time. And he ended up giving that money to a stripper and having sex with her in the strip club with the money that I gave him. So I thought that was pretty creative. Oh, also I was paying all his bills. So he was living in my house and I was paying his bills when that happened. I think that's pretty high level audacity. I could tell you stories for the next 6 hours straight of the different ways that I have been cheated on. And some were really, really, really devastating. Some were, almost kind of comical, like that situation. But my reaction to cheating has varied over the years. Sometimes it's been a relief in a way, like it revealed who that person was to me. Sometimes it absolutely destroyed me and destroyed my comfort and my peace. Sometimes it made me incredibly insecure, which I absolutely hate. It caused me to do things that were completely out of my character, going through people's phones, going through people's computers, asking their friends questions. Once you are in that spiral of not trusting someone, it can absolutely transform how you behave, which is why so often women are called crazy and they're really actually not. They were driven to behave that way. Sometimes they are, but a lot of times I see women acting well outside of how they should be behaving or they normally would be behaving. And it's because their trust has been so deeply shattered. And I know there's going to be some people on the internet who are like, well, da, 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 like, who are you to talk about this? I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite. I have had situations in my past, not the ones you're thinking about, where I have not been faithful. And then I immediately left. So does that even count? I don't know if that counts. It's more revenge than it was actually not being faithful. I'm sure the men will have a lot to say about it. But outside of my baseline philosophy of don't cheat, I find cheating to be a real challenge for people. Like, you have to do a lot to cheat on someone. You have to lie extensively. You have to hide things in your phone. You have to hope constantly that the person that you're cheating with doesn't run and go tell your partner. You have to make sure that you're turning your location off. Like, is it not exhausting for you? And you could just be single. Just be single. So what I find for a lot of people, and I don't want to limit this to men, because there are certainly women who cheat, and there are certainly women who cheat and lie and manipulate. Obviously, in this situation, we can just talk about men because that's what it has prompted this conversation with Megan and Klay. I think that at this age, in this chapter of my life, cheating is not even something that I think about. Like, it's not even something that would cross my mind to do. It's also not something that I would ever tolerate. It would be such an easy decision for me because, as I said in last week's episode, peace is the most important thing in my life. So if you're disrupting my peace, you got to go. And while I might be sad about it, you've made it a very easy choice for me. And I think a lot of times when it comes to cheating, it's obviously very selfish. It's obviously something that you're not thinking long term about the consequences of. But for me, I kind of look at cheating as something that it's like you want to have everything at the same time. You want to have the benefits of a relationship. You want to have the benefits of a partner. You want to have the home. You want to have the ability to, be with someone that you feel comfortable around. You want to play house, as Megan said, and you want to, bring them around your family. But you also still want the thrill of conquering and taking down other people there's no nicer way to say that, because unless you're just out here maintaining, 5 or 6 relationships, which I don't know if you have some special space vortex where you have extra time in the day, but just seems like a really exhausting experience. You're probably just cheating randomly with people and you're not really putting any emotional depth into those other situations. So you just want to be able to live like you're single and also have a relationship. And it's just like, you have to make a choice. You have to decide if you're going to commit to the relationship, which requires sacrifice. And if you find yourself not being able to be monogamous, just be single. And you have to either accept that about yourself, that you're not capable of being in a relationship, or you need to do the work to fix whatever's in you that makes you constantly want to be in these single behavior situations. So, yeah, I mean, I've seen the devastation that cheating can do, and in so many different situations in my life. And when I say that, not even just related to me, I've seen it in friendships. I've seen it in every close relationship that you can have. I have seen it happen, and what can come of it, and the lasting effects, and the amount of trauma that it causes for so many people. It's not just your partner. And when it comes to being in a family, you're really, really taking it to another level because you're betraying not just your partner, but other people that have invested or supported or are a part of or are directly affected by that relationship. So, yeah, I mean, just don't. Like, it's the best thing I can say. Just don't. If you're thinking about cheating, don't. And then if you can't help yourself, be a real stand-up adult and leave the relationship. Spare everyone the trauma and the lies and the manipulation and the extra heartbreak and fix yourself or do that. Like there are no loopholes to any of this. And then the final thing I'll say on this is, I think that cheating has different chapters, right? Like if you are a young person, if you're like in your early 20s and you're still learning how to be in relationships, it doesn't make it any less traumatic for the other person, but there are a lot of different things that you're going to experience in your life, and people have to learn things the hard way, I think, sometimes. And being able to reflect on what it is that you want at a certain time and what is something that you want to participate in is a big part of maturing. So if you're a grown ass cheater, I don't even know what to do with you. Like if you're in your 50s and you're still cheating, like you're a completely unserious person. Like I said, there's so much more I can say on this, and we will, I'm sure, talk about this throughout the season in different conversations. But that is my core philosophy on cheating, which is just don't do it.